Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Guess the WN8. This is a series where viewers submit replays and I guess their WN8 and their win rate. If I'm within 250 WN8 or 2% of the wins, then I win. If not, then I give them some gold. We're looking at a paid submission here. You can see the description if you want to know more about how to submit replays, but people who submit replays via a £5 donation have it guaranteed that they'll appear in an episode, so that's nice. T57 Heavy, and in fact in this episode we have two replays from two separate people, both in T57 Heavies. Is it a popular tank or is it just coincidence? Probably both, but the T57 Heavy does have a certain amount of appeal. Let's look at what we're seeing here. More heat than AP, 340 pen on the heat, so can't blame you for that one. Vert stabs, improved hardening, and a turbocharger. One of the blessings of autoloaders, of course, being that you don't have to manage as much equipment real estate when you can't mount a gun ladder. Alright, gun ladders on your heavy tanks are so ubiquitous they might as well not exist at all. I think gun ladders should be taken out of the game myself to make more room for choice, rather than, oh, you must have this equipment to be relevant. But not a problem on autoloaders, so you have more space for stuff like your turbo, your vert stabs. And the vert stabs is going to feel very good because unlike that 50B in front of us, which is sort of the main comparison between for the T57 Heavy, this thing's gun stabilization, its aim time is a little worse. Alright, we got 2.7 seconds on the aim time and 0.35 accuracy, whereas the 50B's gun certainly feels nicer at distance. Now we preloaded heat here, so it'd be interesting to see where this gentleman aims. Oh, and that is a stewarded connection by the E5. Doesn't get spotted. Now, I would have considered poking just to spot that guy, but I might have got my ass kicked had I done that. Now, I think the top speed of the T57 is 35 point something, and this passivity right now does indicate something to me, right? We know the thing about the T57 Heavy and autoloaders in general is, I mean, look at that 50B behind us. He was just sitting there opportunistically. He's buggered off now. There he is. Right? Autoloaders do not want a fair fight, and they particularly do not want a corner poke at distance. It's like the worst possible engagement you can make with an autoloader is, okay, let me snipe your cupola, you can shoot at me, right? Because you don't want to lose health in that environment. If you are losing health in an autoloader, you want to be putting out way more damage than you are taking. And I think a more experienced player would have relocated looking that way. The fact that the camera was zoomed in and he didn't seem to have any awareness that he was potentially exposing to a side shot on the Super Conk and maybe the RS4 that snuck over there, like, ooh, makes me a little nervous. But this is good overall. We're looking for the isolated tank, right? The tank that we can ambush, the tank that we can put damage out into. Beautiful, beautiful. Very good. Okay. You always want to take the stragglers. This is not just World of Tanks specifically. Like, in every video game, who do you kill first? Well, the guy on the high ground is an ideal target, but also the guy right out away from everyone else, right? The guy who can't be protected. It's a good notion to think of in autoloaders. Now, Super Conks coming up. And this is another thing that you do in autoloaders. It's a very good thing to get into the habit of doing. You only use your health if you are unloading. Otherwise, you use everyone else's hit points. Now that we're unloading, now we don't mind taking a shot from a supercon, right? Because we know we're going to output 1,600 clip potential. But now we want to drag him out. Now we want to rely on the mouse. We want to get him to the line of fire, the E5, stuff like that. And remember, T57 Heavy, we just put out 4 shells, we just put out 1,600 average damage, and we're almost reloaded again. Loading in like 22 seconds. DPM of this thing, the highest on any tier 10 heavy tank. It's like 3,200. It is absolutely mental. It should not be the case that I can say, oh, this tank that has a 4-shot autoloader also has the best DPM in its class in the entire game. Like that's not how you game balance. But here we are with 340 millimeters of heat pen, doing a little bit of work. And that E5, getting a clip shot into you again. Now, do you want to move from here? What do you hold by being here rather than going elsewhere? Potential shot in the ass from the E5. After that E5 missed, I might have considered leaving this position. But let's see. Can we get out? 16 heat shells left. Let's remember, 258 millimeters of pen on the standard AP. Yeah, and that's why we don't want to stick about here. The E5's gun is spectacular. Now, maybe a shot on the side. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, random event going off in the middle. Cool, cool, cool. Want to be aware of the Panzer Quap. Okay, at this point, you are outnumbered. You want to be finding a position to put out damage and pick up kills. You want to go for that E4. Here's the thing. E5. You don't want, in any tank, but especially in an autoloader, you don't want to be being attacked by multiple opponents. Because even if we just think of it from a mathematical point of view, like, we're working with, what's the average DPM that we're going to find at tier 10? Like 2.8, maybe 2,800 DPM. Simply adding one more tank to the equation, right, takes it from 2.8 to, why am I bad at math? 5.6. 5,600 DPM is now facing you, as opposed to 2.8. Right? What I think should be done right now is we should go and try and kill secure this T110 E5. Because if we attack him, the IS-4s hold down, oh no, right? We get the kill, but that IS-4 then still has to cross that distance to be engaged in the combat, right? We take this guy down while this guy is still there, because if we allow him to close, then the combat is with 2 of them, and we can't do anything about it, right? So, while that distance is presented between, particularly these 3 tanks here, that's when you want to be picking up kills. That's when you want to be showcasing that aggression to stunt the enemy's offense before it can really take root. Because right now, if the T57 Heavy gets a chance to come up here, Panzer Quap comes back from the middle. This delay that you've just allowed the enemy to have is dangerous. Oh, and that is unlucky. Spaced armor, but Capola should be a profitable target here. E5 has some awareness, blocking that Capola. IS-4's looking for it. Now, the benefit of this position is you've got a multi-level engagement. Right? You've got a multi-level engagement with the CS, you've got a multi-level engagement with the Centurion Axe, and T92 has come out of nowhere and missed you? Okay. I respect it. Oh, and this is unlucky. Do you fake a reload at this point? Oh, 0.35 accuracy, doing work. IS-4 is now clippable. Panzer Quap came back from the middle as we called out earlier. Now, what I would have done after that Panzer 7 had relocated, or had fired, is I would have moved from here to here. And the reason for that is because the CS presumably has got vision down most of this alleyway. We can proxy spot and use this corpse and wreck, but if we're there, it essentially means that both of these tanks, the Panzer Quap and IS-4, are in front of us. Right? We can keep them in front of our tank if we're there. But if we're here, we could potentially run into a situation where we have the IS-4 coming up here and the Panzerkorb sideswiping on this corner. Right, which should be very troubling, whereas that doesn't happen if we're located in this area. Plus, we have the leg to work with, and proximity to dead tanks does allow you a lot more recourse in a heavy tank fight, and a lot more that you can do with positioning. Alright, 1.2 hit points. Okay, engage now, engage. Here's the thing. I think you should make this engagement now, because you always want to put out damage while an enemy tank is claiming position, while it is moving. Do not let people claim ground, claim position for free. Because that's the danger, isn't it? This is a rear-mounted turret. If he's sideswiping on that corner, it's going to become a lot more difficult. But if you put out damage now, while he's exposed, you might panic, you might pick up the kill. I need potentially 3 shots to do it if you're high roll. Okay, 2, 2, 2. Beautiful shooting. Beautiful shooting. Okay. Lovely. Absolutely gorgeous. And this IS-4 has not been paying enough attention. Okay. But now we know the IS-4 is within reach. But let us respect the IS-4. Can we? 160mm of side armor. Don't donkey this. If people disrespect the IS-4, it will disrespect you right back. Okay, Centurion's coming up behind. I like the passivity. Use other people's hit points if you have a chance in your autoloaders. No need to expose and take damage here. And here we go. Okay, side of the turret, solid. Beautiful shooting. Avoiding the spaced armor that is present. There's actually some spaced armor on the lower plate of the IS-4 as well, not to the extent that it would stop 2040 heat pen, but certainly side of the turret there was a good priority. Okay, up to 5k damage here. Game is still certainly far from won, and we're switching to AP shells for potentially the first time in this game. Now, interestingly, there's a consensus among good players, I would argue, that... Ooh, and this guy here is looking at you. Waiting on the Centurion again. Very good. Grill is distracted. Awesome. There's a consensus among good players that you always prefer heat over APCR. And I would very much agree with that. Nice! Good aim. Good aim indeed. Good targeting. Centurion picks up the arty. Because heat doesn't lose pen over distance, right? The thing about the T57 Heavy's ammo is, you see a lot of the time, and T10 light tanks are one of the best examples of this. The T100 LT, right, as APCR standard, premium is AP, but its premium goes down to like 790 shell travel time, or something like that. And you get things like the Lamator Borsig, where those big, powerful heat shells are really, really slow. Oh, no, 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 no. Not on the T57 Heavy, my friends. 1,000 and something shell velocity. It's not over 1.1. It's like 1,050 odd. But that's every shell. I kid you not, every shell. AP, heat, HE, doesn't change. Just have the same shell velocity. All of them. Do you want to engage this? Why? Is it just for damage at this point? I mean, you could just go for the reload. Oh, and Grill's gun letting him down. Now, ironically, and this feels heinous to say, you win if you just charge that Grill. Because he's got a reload of what? Like 13, 12 seconds, somewhere around there? Was it higher? My brain's not working. But either way, you've got a 22-second reload on the clip. Like, you can just charge. Ram kill to ensure that it's a double shot. I mean, ram him to ensure that it only takes 2 shots. But, EBR going in should take 1 hit. Ooh, 848. Oh. Come on, land kill. Land kill! No! Okay. 5 kills. 7.2k damage. Man knows where to aim. There was good awareness of how to utilize an autoloader. The man was in proximity to fights for the entire game, but wasn't the front of them. He was relying on the network around him. The positioning here, while I thought he should have pounced on the opportunity to kill the E5 that was isolated, the positioning here gave him support from the CS on the hill and the Centurion Axe, which if he was thinking that is in my mind just as good, or if not better than my idea of securing the E5 when I said to. Because if he had gone and something had gone on and he died, his team lose that forward hold position. Good knowledge of autoloader gameplay, and I think autoloaders are harder to manage than a lot of other tanks. But it's not like we're playing something like a 5100 here. Like the T57 Heavy is basically autoloaders on easy mode. The overabundance of heat shells, and not just the fact that, look, anyone can load mostly premium, right? It was the fact that I detected an active effort to not fire those heat shells at Space Dana, side of the IS-4. There was another one where he went for the side of the turret on someone instead of going for the hull. T57 Heavy, I believe. It shows an active awareness of dynamics, its shell dynamics, and how they work. Not only do I think people who load more premium generally care more about doing well, I think it was the utilization of those shells that really indicates to me that this is a better player. So yeah, I'm going with 55%. I'm gonna give him 2.1k WN8. God damn! Okay. Well, I'm gonna eat my own words. God damn, okay. Man's working. Oh, was there anything I missed? I don't think there was anything I particularly missed or misinterpreting. I mean, clearly there was, but I don't think there was anything obvious, right? Wait, he's only played 206... Yeah. A real account, but hell, my rules. I missed it. I was not accurate. Right, so pay the gold. I'm not re-rolling people. There's nothing in the rules about account games on accounts or anything like that. I wonder, chat, you can give me your opinion on this. Do you think, if that was not a re-roll account, that I guessed accurately? Do you think if this guy just played his normal account, that would be an accurate analysis of his stats? Because I was really surprised when I saw 60, because it did not feel like a 60% replay. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got another T57 replay to watch. Let's see if we can hit the nail on the head with our guess of this one. Looks like we got a fully field modded T57 Heavy, 32 heat shells, no AP, 4 HE, working with a case of cola, improved hardening, experimental turbo, and the experimental firepower, I believe, along with, this is interesting, aim tuning. An aim tuning directive, right? And obviously doesn't appreciate the 2.7 seconds of aiming time found on this tank. And why would you? It's got a 2-second intro clip. This is not an AMX 50B with 2.5. It's not a Batchet with 2.73. It's not, thank the Lord, an AMX 5120 with 3.33. Oh, God forbid a chaffy with 4 seconds. This is an autoloader by every amount of the word. 2 seconds between those clips, taking you only 6 seconds from the first shell to put out that 1,600 alpha damage. Now, there is a platoon of mice on the enemy team. And while that is very dangerous, this land over here kind of favors things like the T57 Heavy, things like these superconks that are present, the M5Y that our fine Admiral is platooned with here. Now, falling back here, wiggling the tongue up in the air, very good. Why did we fall back? It's again because of what we talked about earlier, right? We do not want in an autoloader to get into a damage trade, a one-for-one fight. If you are trading one shot for one shot in an autoloader, you are doing it wrong. And especially if you are doing that at distance. Almost any kind of distance, particularly in a T57 Heavy that's not the fastest tank, right? 35 kilometers an hour top speed. Distance of about 100 meters between these two tanks. And look, the Type 68 hold down, you might not pen it anyway, but even if you did, you're not going to be able to do what T57 Heavy should do, which is, oh, you shot me, bang, bang, bang. That's the idea. So the entire gameplay of these tanks, and autoloaders in general, unless you're talking about too short autoloaders because they're bullshit, is predicated... Okay, now we pounce. Ooh, that mouse is coming up. Gotta be putting out damage here. And you 40mm of heat pen. Frontal hole. It was good effort. Aimed at the front of the hole there at that angle. That would have been had you hit it. The entire gameplay is predicated upon finding engagements where you can put out more damage than you are taking. That's so much more important in an autoloader than a regular tank. And you may be asking, why? Why does your health matter so much more in an autoloader? It's because of the end game. It's because of the potential of an autoloader, particularly in those end game scenarios. A roadline tanker. If we think about it, there are 15 tanks on the enemy team when you start the battle. That is 15 chances that the enemy have to block an avenue of egress, to put a shot into you. Maybe 7 minutes into the game, optimistically, there's only 10 tanks doing that. 8 minutes, maybe there's 9 tanks, then 8 tanks, then 7 tanks. The longer the game goes on, the more opportunities you have to maneuver. And in an autoloader, you want that health, because it allows you to say, okay, Mr. Mouse, I'm gonna take 530 damage from you. Did the mouse get the alpha damage buff? I'm gonna take damage from you to put out 1,600. Right? Health is used as currency in water tanks. We say this many, many times. And it's used as currency on all forms of tanks. On your mediums, on your lights, you use health as a ticket. You pay a bit of health to do something. But on no type of vehicle is that asset, that ability, so threatening and so powerful as it is in an autoloader. Because while you can trade a bit of health to do a bit of damage in any tank, in an autoloader you can output so much more than you take within that space of time. So, now we want to pressure... Ooh. Okay, wait, we're not. Do we want to pressure mid? I guess we have to. Oh, I would love to stay here. I would love to stay here, and this is difficult. Okay, so if the enemy team were dumb, staying here and putting out damage, especially on this guy coming up, on the mouses as they come up, turret first, right, would be lovely. But we cannot do that. And why is that? Well, one, we haven't seen this mouse in a while, he could be coming back up here. Also, these guys behind us. We could do that if we didn't have presence here. Right? We can't be closed in from two sides. So the right play right now is to just blast out here. Now, these guys have what, 1,500 and something hit points between them? We can't kill them in a single clip. I like that communication with the team. Come, support me, help me. Hopefully we get a response on that. At this point, we're just going to have... Oh, I'm unlucky. It was a good attempt at a bait. We don't need to be bouncing shells here. And at this point, you commit. Right? You don't want to risk bouncing a shell here. And look, the T57 Heavy, guess how much it weighs? It's not rocket science, but you weigh enough that you can bump. Right? You can give a bump. So in the event... Ooh, nice little effort by the DZ there. In the event that you low-load those shells, the ram kill could compensate the damage. And this is something you also want to make sure you're aware of when you're playing your autoloaders, is what is my clip potential? On average, what do I do? Right? 1,600 in a T57 Heavy, in a 50B, 500 in a Skoda T25, 910 in the T71. It's lovely work there. And look, taking these engagements one by one, letting the enemy come in, putting out damage, and falling back to a next position. This is lovely. This is absolutely lovely. Okay. And we do have a bit of health to take a hit here, but we're covered in this position. Mouse is coming up behind. I wouldn't have turned there. I would not have turned. I would have kept going up. Look at this. If we take damage from this mouse, I'm lowering the win rate by 1% or 2. We do not need to be taking damage from this guy. That maneuver is basically suicide. It is not threatening in any capacity. He's got Manti on the side. He's got all these TDs at distance. If he tries to come up here for us, he's just dead. I don't want to see us taking damage from this mouse. Why are we turning? Why are we turning? Lucky to get the bounce there. Very lucky. Can we get the pen? Oh, and we're dead. No? Leo at a very limited angle. Okay. Hey, Trinksy! Thank you for the raiding party. Yeah, not necessary to take damage from that mouse there. I like the positioning up until that point. But let's be honest, positioning still is not bad. That is bold. Only going for one shot. This man is a damn good player in my book. We all make positional missteps. But he's been doing solidly. We're missing a Conway and a Waffenträger at this point. A lot of packages here that we can use to get information. If you did not know, you can spot through dead tanks as if they weren't there. Dead vehicles do not impede spotting rays. So you, there God, you will spot directly through dead tanks. Oh, low there, very unfortunate, but now we fall back. Now we fall back. We know the, oh, and that shit. APCR from the 430 fails to make the kill. Upper plate, only got one shot left. And go out. Bounces again. He's gone back to AP. Forward, forward. Use the lock. Use the lock. Use the lock. Should get there. Woo! Jesus. Okay, Manti's coming in to do a bit of work. By the way, use the health of the team, and we're bouncing. Now, oddly enough, the T57 Heavy has a 120mm gun. Very much like the Tortoise. But on the Russians, like the IS-32 or the ST-2, something like that, they're 122s. And the reason I point this out is because on the 430 in particular, there's a rather niche weakness that I think people should be aware of that can be exploited by 120mm guns. If we look at the 430, you see this? That is 40mm of armor. And what that means is that the 430, having this 122mm gun, can overmatch itself. So no matter what angle I put that on, it is a 100% chance of penning because we're shooting at it with a 122mm gun. So if you're seeing a 430 and you just happen to have a 122 or higher than a 120mm gun, be aware that these cheeks are an auto pen. They're basically like the roof of an IS-20. If you can hit them, you will pen with any form of armor-piercing shell. Not relevant here, we're working with 40mm of heat pen, but just thought it was interesting to point out and stop being silly. My man has got an aiming directive, and the gun is still misbehaving that much. Woo! Okay, now you can clip a Waffenträger Panzer IV. Waffenträger, one of my favourite tanks in the entire game. But again, getting distance. Oh, and they are both here now. Okay, establishing distance. Wonderful. Conway has just fired. Waffle hasn't. Lovely. And this is beautiful distance play. This is beautiful multi-level engagement. We're just trying to spot. Conway comes screaming round. What? Okay, gun blocking. How? How are you not? He's deliberately gun blocking. This guy is very good. Very good. And very lucky. Like, oh my lord, dude. The RNG that kept him alive in this game was mental. Absolutely mental. I'm amazed that his team won that game. RNG certainly did, certainly helped. Oh my lord. Okay. Look, the T57 Heavy, I don't want anyone to walk away with the wrong idea here. It may have heavy in the name. It's not anything to write home about. It certainly doesn't perform this well regularly. I think most people would agree with the notion that it's bouncy. In that if people just yellow away at it with no concern, then yeah, it will provoke a few bounces. But if people know where to aim, particularly the tank cheeks or the lower plate or even the upper plate on a suitable angle, like it's not going to bounce all these shells. It was good autoloader gameplay. We stuck out of the main area of the fight, chose when threatened with forces on both sides. We chose the weakest one and we broke out of it. We put ourselves in a position where we were utilizing the multi-level engagement that was present behind us. But the oddity there is that seemingly we knew why this was a good position, and then we didn't use it when the mouse came up behind us. And if I'm to analyze that from a logical point of view, maybe there was a feeling that we were threatened from the mid, so if we went up there passively, we'd take a shot in the rear, maybe? But we almost died because of that engagement on the mouse, which I think was a really poor engagement to take, given the fact that he didn't threaten anything. The mouse literally can't go anywhere from this position because of how pinned down he was by the guys up on the high ground there. The targeting was good, the aiming was good. We're going from tank cheeks of nice 56 and 2.3. Targeting was good, positioning, relocation, stayed out of the fight, kept health. Yeah, I'll go with 56 and 2.3. Oh, okay. Not bad. My man's been working recently. Nailed the win rate, though. Happy with that. Stats way higher recently. Love to see that. My man's been putting in work. Oh, beautiful. Okay, I did it, chat. I got it right. Huzzah, hooray. So, YouTube, if you are interested in submitting your replays to be used in this series, check the description for the rules. You can donate using the £5 link if you want to guarantee your replay is used. But also worth noting that we have memberships on YouTube, so if you want to catch all of these episodes as soon as they get uploaded, then you can look at that as well. Come and follow us on Twitch, because that's where we record these live, and you can see a lovely Twitch chat right now saying hi to you, I'm sure. So, you can check the description as well for the next and previous episodes and the playlist as well. Farewell, everyone. Bye.
His skills are legendary, brutal stuff, like he does a thing. and screws it up. But the world of tanks is kindergarten, childish software. Real men play armored warfare, PvE. And his business model is actually insane, making money off of stuff but doesn't have to play a game. Also his leadership skills are dope as fuck. He says YOLO up, folks.